Kelly Barlow Creations. If you're new to my channel and you're stopping by for the first time, thank you for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. Stick around a while by clicking that red button for more crafting on a budget, more everything on a budget videos to come. And if you click it again when the bell appears, YouTube should notify you every time I'm uploading a new video. And if you're interested in following me on social media, those links are in the description box below. Today is a fun day because I am getting together with Bargain Bethany and we are bringing to you a Dollar Tree DIY. I always love it when I get the opportunity to work with her because one, she's an amazing talent and the DIYs that she comes up with are amazing. And two, she's just a really great person. She's been somebody who's really helped me out over the last few years since I was new to YouTube. And when I had a question, she was right there to answer it. And so Bethany, thank you really so much for all the help that you've given me over the last few years because it really has helped a lot and I adore you and I appreciate it. For today's DIY, we decided that we were gonna do a DIY using these new plaques that you can get from the Dollar Tree. They come in two different colors, the black and the white, and they had several different sayings on them. These are a plaque that just recently made it to the Dollar Tree, I'd say in over the last week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. They're a heavy duty plaque. And I tell you, Bethany and I have some great DIYs in store for you today using these. We wanted to get these DIYs out to you as soon as possible because these plaques just came out. So if you're interested in doing these DIYs, you can run to the Dollar Tree, grab them, or you can keep your eye open for them if you like what you see in either one of our tutorials today. So don't forget to head on over to Bethany's channel. Link is in the description box below to check out what she does with these plaques at the end of this video. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into it and let me show you what I have in mind using these plaques that you can get from the Dollar Tree right now. For today's DIY, I will be using 6 of these plaques. I'll be using some wood glue to glue these plaques together. I'm using Elmer's wood glue. Dollar Tree has a wood glue that you can pick up for $1. I'm gonna glue 2 of these plaques together side by side. And I'm gonna do this 3 times, giving me 3 rows of these plaques. After gluing the plaques together side by side using the wood glue, I flipped over each of these sets and I reinforced the back of them using the jumbo popsicle sticks, and I just hot glued 2 jumbo popsicle sticks onto each set of plaques right where the seam meets to kind of hold these together a bit better. The paint colors that I'll be using today are by Waverly, and I'll be using the ivory color and the hazelnut. You can get these fairly inexpensive at Walmart. For the sample sizes, you can get them for under $2. The larger sizes are about $5.97. I decided that I was gonna try and lighten up this hazelnut just a bit because I was thinking that it was gonna be a bit too dark for the area that I was gonna put this in my house. And so I figured that by adding just a bit of the ivory to it, that it would lighten it up just to what I needed it to be. I'm gonna paint all 3 of my plaques, which is actually 6 because we glued 2 of them together with this color. As I'm doing this, it's not coming across in the video very well, but this color actually had a lot of pink in it. It was lighter than I thought it was gonna be, and so I'm already seeing that I'm not liking this color and it's not gonna work for where I need it to go. So originally my thoughts behind mixing the hazelnut with the ivory was I wanted to lighten up this hazelnut just a bit because looking at it from outside of the bottle, it looked like it was gonna be too dark for what I had in mind for this DIY. But once I mixed the two, mixing the two really brought out a pink undertone in this hazelnut, which as I love the color I came up with, it just was a color that wasn't gonna work for my decor. I then realized that this color was gonna be perfect and I just should have gone with this originally. And I just went ahead and put a coat of the hazelnut right over it just to kind of fix the color and get it to where I needed it to be. Now using some of Waverly's chalk paint in the color of the ink, which is just a black acrylic paint. This one has a matte finish to it, and a paint sponge and a paintbrush. I'm gonna distress the edges of my plaques, and it's real easy to do just by using the sponge itself. If you lightly kind of brush it along the edges of the plaques or whatever finish it is that you're trying to distress to give that chipped paint look, it really comes out nicely. You can do it as much or as little as you want depending on how distressed you want your DIY to look. For this DIY, I'm gonna go with a bit of a more distressed look because I really like that look of the chipped paint. And so I'm gonna use the paintbrush to thicken up some areas and to maybe look like the paint chipped more in some areas than others. You can use a gloss paint for this if you want. I'm going with a matte finish because it's what suits my decor. On each of the ends of the plaques, I think it kind of adds to the character if you just kind of taper in the corners with the black paint to really give it that chipped paint look, other than just having the lines up and down each of the plaques. I picked up these 8-inch letters from Walmart. They were $1.97 a piece to spell out the word family. To paint them, I'll be using again my Waverly chalk paint in the black matte finish. I tell you, if you have a spray paint on hand already, I'd probably use that because it'll move a lot faster. I just have a ton of acrylic paint on hand, and so I wanted to use it just to kind of cut down on the cost and use what I had on hand. The great thing about Waverly chalk paint is it is such a great paint. It really is just a one coat paint a lot of times, and so using this black paint, it's not going to take more than one coat. And so a little bit of extra time painting it, and I used what I had on hand and saved a couple dollars on paint. For those of you who are new to my channel, I am very impatient when it comes to waiting for my paint to dry on my DIYs. So if it's something that'll fit in my oven, I like to pop it in my oven at 135 degrees for about 4 or 5 minutes, and it really speeds up the process of having your paint dry and moves your DIY along a bit quicker. And so I'm gonna pop all these in the oven. I'm gonna paint them on the front and the back side. Everything is good and dry. Now all that's left to do is put this together. I've lined up my strips to measure out at 8 inches tall from the top and the bottom, which is the size of the letters that I'm using for this DIY. I'm gonna lay out my letters before I glue them onto the strips, so that way I get the spacing down good. An easy way to do this when you're working with lots of letters in a limited space is to place the first letter of your word first and then the last letter of your word where you want it to be. So that way you know how much space you have in between to place the rest of your letters. To glue my letters down, I'll be using Aleene's Tacky Glue. This glue is amazing. I've seen great results with it. This is a glue that you can get at the Dollar Tree. I'm gonna place the glue only on the sections of the back of the letter that are actually going to be touching the strips, the plaques. No need to put excessive glue. You really just want the glue where the letters will be touching, where you need them to be glued on, because if you put too much glue, it's just gonna be a hot mess and you're gonna have glue dripping everywhere. I knew that once I got my letters glued down, I was gonna go back and add a bit more distressing, give it more of that chipped paint look. I didn't want to do it in the middle of the planks or the strips, I guess, before the letters were on, because I didn't want to risk distressing it in areas that it wasn't going to show. I wanted to have a bit more control over where the distressing was. And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to use my paintbrush and just kind of add to the sections of the strips that are bare in between each of the letters. I am really happy with the outcome of this DIY. This is not a DIY that is meant to be hung up because of the weight of it. I knew that this was something that I wanted to stand up. It stands up perfectly on its own. I couldn't be happier with the color of it. That hazelnut chalk paint really did what I wanted it to do. It brought out the brown in the rock in my fireplace. The black lettering brings out my pellet stove. I wanted it all just to really go together, and I think that it does. This is a nice, solid, durable piece, and I couldn't be more happy with the way it turned out, and putting it above my fireplace on the mantle. It is perfect for what I had in mind for it. It definitely brings out the browns in the rock on my fireplace, which was what I was hoping it would do. I tell you, for under $20, This is a piece that you couldn't buy for that amount, and DIYing it, it took me a couple hours to do, and the outcome was well worth the time that it took to make this piece. I hope you all enjoyed today's DIY from the Dollar Tree using the wood plaques. Definitely keep your eye open for them. Don't forget to head on over to Bethany's channel to see what she does with these plaques. Link to her video is in the description box below. Thank you again, Bethany, for getting together with me for a project. I always enjoy working with you and look forward to the next time that we get together again. Please give this video a thumbs up, and let's get this video to 6,000 likes, because each and every one of those thumbs up, they really do help my channel to grow, and it helps YouTube to notice me just a bit more. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy crafting on a budget, and bye for now, everybody.